From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater. Radio 111 presents Bonnie G and Brian Mendoza with The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie and Brian.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. I'm Bonnie G, here with my fabulous producer, Brian Mendoza, and we're really excited to welcome to the show today David Green, who is the producer, director of MTU Musical Theater University, and they have this wonderful new event at Willie's, a new restaurant in Rancho Mirage called Willie's, the old Bernie's, called Willie's Broadway Block Party, and I went this past Wednesday, and it was fabulous. Hi, David. How are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. So I have to say that this evening far exceeded my expectations. I figured it'd be pretty good. But first of all, the place was packed. People couldn't get in. I know people put on Facebook, wanted to go, but I got to the door and I couldn't get in. The kids were amazing and a lot of guest singers. So tell folks, kind of explain to folks what this evening's all about, if you would.
Well, so Musical Theater University is a conservatory training ground for young people who have aspirations for careers on Broadway, and or in professional theater, but Broadway most specifically. I've spent the last 35 years training young people for careers on Broadway, and trained a couple Tony winners, Stephanie Block and Lindsay Mendez, and a couple more Tony nominees, etc. Been here in the desert this is our 10th anniversary. And so these are young people who have these same aspirations. And so we try to create unique performance opportunities for them in addition to their training. Prior to COVID, we did to the pandemic, we did a dinner show actually at Aqua at the river, which sold out every time we did it. Singing waiters, and they did a fully staged show. Well, coming back from the pandemic, I thought I want to take that concept and do something a little different with it. And I've always been excited and enthusiastic about all the open mic events here in the desert, and all these tremendously professional singers that are going out and singing at open mics. And so I thought, well, why not combine the two? So this is a jam-packed evening. It's about a 2.5-hour evening of live entertainment by the kids. They're doing song and dance production numbers from Broadway musicals. And what's unique is that there's no stage, so the production numbers happen throughout the whole room. So somebody could be singing and dancing right next to you. And then interspersed is an open mic night. And from young people, we had a young lady the other night who was 8 years old, who brought down the house with part of your world. And then we had 4 or 5 Broadway veterans in the house. So it was really a great eclectic mix of singers.
Absolutely. And I was happy to be there and be one of them. And I have to say,
I was so thrilled.
Thank you. One couple things. First of all, these kids, the stage presence and professionalism, and you can feel the camaraderie of the kids was very impressive, number one. And number two, I was also impressed because you got a bunch of kids running around, walking around, dancing around with wireless mics, and I did not hear one single sound issue. I did not hear any feedback. And as anybody that's ever used a wireless mic and walked around a room with, that's a nice thing to be able to say at the end of the evening. So congrats on that part.
Oh, thank you. And we have an incredible sound designer, Kiki Roller, who also is the sound director at CV Rep. And so she's over with us at the school too, and she did a great job. We went in and really looked at the house to figure out where we could perform and not, and just for what you're saying, so that we wouldn't have any irritating sound issues. So
tell me how. I mean, so the kids that are in the say this year or last year or this season in your program there at MTU, were all of them in this show? Did they have to audition for parts in this show? And how did you assign songs? And tell me about that process.
Well, so we have between 45 and 60 kids each year in MTU in the conservatory. And so this was just, and many of them go away for the summer or do other projects, but we always try to do something in the summer for those who are around. So really this was because they're all of the kids are and in training and talented. So I just opened it up this year and sent out a blast and said, who wants to do this? I've about 18 or 20 kids that are going to do this in total, and we're using 10 to 12 a night. So the cast will rotate week to week.
Okay.
We're going to change in and out some material, and some of the cast members will do all the shows, but some of them will be coming in and out through the course of the next 4 weeks.
Okay. And so this, how long, this must have been a pretty intensive rehearsal process. I mean, just coordinating a show like this, just standing on a stage is a lot of work. But when you have kids walking in and out and parading in and out and doing a little dance, you did some just Footloose. The guys did Footloose and did some choreography. This must have required an awful lot of rehearsal, I'm thinking.
Well, it actually didn't, and I'll tell you why. The secret is because it's what we do at the conservatory.
Oh,
so we're training the kids in professional circumstances. For example, we do 3 main stage musicals a year, full-on musicals, and we bring in Broadway stars to work alongside the kids playing the adult leading roles, etc. Well, we mount those shows, a full musical, in 3 weeks or less from audition to opening night. And so they're used to this.
Okay.
They know it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
So they work, they're prepared. When they come into rehearsal, if I assign them a song, they come into rehearsal, they generally know it.
Yeah.
And we're fine tuning as opposed to, because this is their craft, this is what they want to do. So with this show, we actually started the vocal rehearsals 1 week ahead of opening. And we got into Willie's for 3 hours on the Monday and 3 hours on the Tuesday before we opened, and that's how we put it all together.
Wow!
But it's really because the students, the kids, are so professionally minded.
Yeah.
They're prepared, and they track, and they also, because we've trained them for years, we have a common language. So they're able to, I'm able to say, this is where mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic through 8 are in the house. If I call your mic, that's where you go. I need you to travel here. You find your best path.
Right.
So they do a lot of this, and then I fine tune. So that's I think the kind of the beauty of the program that we do.
Absolutely.
Is that these kids are kind of prepared to go into any circumstance, anywhere, and make a show happen instantly.
Yeah. Well, what a great program for these kids. I mean, my goodness gracious. I mean, back in high school, there were some high school musicals and, I go choir and that kind of stuff, but not this type of program when I was in high school, which was a while back. But, good. I mean, that's such a great training ground for them. Well, let's talk about this play. Willie's, by the way, Willie Ryan, who I've known for years. I met him when he ran the Top Hat Playhouse years ago, and I was Miss Mona in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which is a wonderful show. And that's how I met Willie, and I've known him through the years and watched him have this huge success as a restaurateur in the Valley, and he now has 3 very successful restaurants. And I saw something he put on Facebook the day after this that originally he wasn't planning to have entertainment at Willie's, but I think after this, as successful as even this has been the first night, I have a feeling that entertainment might continue. I have a feeling at Willie's.
I think so too, and we've done a little chatting too about some possibilities. It's funny because when we first met, and I brought this concept to him for Willie specifically, because our program, by the way, the kids come from all over the region. Yeah. They audition and come from. It's not just one school, but we're centered at Rancho Mirage High School. So we do things at the Rancho Mirage Amphitheater and such. So I went to Willie with the concept, and he had actually said, he'd envisioned possibly doing specialty brunches or doing some kind of entertainment there. But when he got into the space, he felt he didn't quite understand it because the rooms, it's not a big room.
No.
It's all broken up. And so I said, let's try. If you give me a shot at it, I have an idea of what to do with the room. So let's try it. And I think he was really pleased with what happened the other night.
Absolutely. So just for people that are thinking about either coming or if you're being a singer, it's called Willie's Broadway Block Party. Wednesdays, started last week, goes through August 17th, 6:30 to 9. Fully staged Broadway style review starring MTU students, but also an open mic. So it's no cover, open seating. Get there early. I would suggest like 5:30 to get a table. Full bar. Singers should arrive by 6 p.m. to sign in to sing. For information, you can call 760-202-4499. It is such a great evening. I strongly suggest next Wednesday everybody come, whether you're a singer and want to perform or just to come and see the show. It's fabulous. Congratulations, David, on this. I think it's just wonderful.
Thank you, Bonnie.
All right, and I'll be there next Wednesday. And thank you to David Green and the wonderful kids and Willie. And we'll talk to all of you next time on The Desert Scene.